This was one of the most bizarre press conferences we've seen. Also, Donald Trump blew up at members of the press when they asked questions. Specifically, he started screaming at female reporters who were asking him good questions. Just take a look at some of these photos from the Oval Office of Donald Trump with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Look at Donald Trump. He's like flirting with the Crown Prince, and he's like giddy to be there with this weird golden bordello Oval Office. Here's some more photos. Here's another photo, another photo. Really bizarre stuff. But when a reporter asked a very serious question about Donald Trump's family doing business with Saudi Arabia, at the same time the United States intends to transfer F-35 fighter jets and nuclear technology to Saudi Arabia, doesn't that present a conflict of interest? And the reporter also says, what is your view about the fact that you have MBS here as part of this PR tour while he murdered a journalist, Khashoggi, and did it in a blatant and disgusting way? What's your view about that? Then Donald Trump just starts yelling at the reporter. Here, play this clip.
President, is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been, no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he.
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana.
It all started with a threat. And then, the threat became a reality. According to a new book based on Turkish intelligence, a team of 15 arrives from Riyadh and gathers for one last revision of the plan.
I'm on the floor about something else. This is something we could have resolved last week when we brought a unanimous consent to pass this discharge with the full support of the body. But our friends over here who are arguing today stalled that. They objected to it, and they wanted to have this exercise instead. And that's why we say that this is a show vote. That's what this is. They're making a show of it. And it really is a shame. We have some heroic women in the chamber today. I met with many of them a while back. They're in the gallery here. They have come forward. They have shown their faces. They've used their names to share the unspeakable.
New information to tell you about this afternoon about when ground will be broken for the proposed Trump Hotel and condominium tower over on Poydras Street. WDSU News Channel 6 reporter Ken Jones is on your side with when the first shovel will hit the ground and how involved the Donald will actually be in the project once it's completed.
This summer is the start date we're now hearing for ground to be broken on the proposed 70-story Trump Tower. The luxury hotel and condominium development was first proposed on this lot on Poydras Street between Magazine and Camp just before Hurricane Katrina. Donald Trump even reaffirmed his commitment after the storm. But start dates have come and gone. However, a lot of people who pass this proposed site, which is nothing more than a paid parking lot now, are not quite disillusioned yet.
As long as it brings good industry to New Orleans, I'm willing for anything.
And there's been talk that the only connection Donald Trump will have with this project is his name.
Trump is very committed to this project.
Christian Moyes is following the Trump Tower story for New Orleans City Business Magazine. He says the Trump Tower will be one of only 10 of its kind in the world.
You got to hear about this thing. There's this new air purifier out there. It's basically a mold killer that destroys hidden spores and makes your entire home safe to.
This was one of the most bizarre press conferences we've seen. Also, Donald Trump blew up at members of the press when they asked questions. Specifically, he started screaming at female reporters who were asking him good questions. Just take a look at some of these photos from the Oval Office of Donald Trump with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Look at Donald Trump. He's like flirting with the Crown Prince, and he's like giddy to be there with this weird golden bordello Oval Office. Here's some more photos. Here's another photo, another photo. Really bizarre stuff. But when a reporter asked a very serious question about Donald Trump's family doing business with Saudi Arabia at the same time the United States intends to transfer F-35 fighter jets and nuclear technology to Saudi Arabia, doesn't that present a conflict of interest? And the reporter also says, what is your view about the fact that you have MBS here as part of this PR tour while he murdered a journalist, Khashoggi, and did it in a blatant and disgusting way? What's your view about that? Then Donald Trump just starts yelling at the reporter. Here, play this clip.
President, is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news, ABC fake news, one of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been, no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
It's just you asked, Mr. President.
So you hear Donald Trump there saying that MBS is entirely innocent of the Khashoggi torture and murder, and he attacks the reporter for bringing it up, and he attacks America's intelligence. clearly shows that MBS was behind the murder and torture of Khashoggi. I mean, this is utterly despicable.
Only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Donald Trump is asked another question by that reporter about why are you even waiting for Congress to take a vote to release the Epstein files? Why don't you release the files now? And then Donald Trump blows up at that. Reporter again. Here, play this clip.
Is that pretty good?
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just... do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. The way you ask these questions, you start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. You're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter.
Then Donald Trump just starts to praise the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, because remember, Donald Trump's family has massive business interests with the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, whether it's his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, the Trump Organization's new hotel in the Maldives, various projects in the Middle East. I mean, they're making quite literally hundreds of millions, billions of dollars from the Saudis. And our military technology is being transferred to Saudi Arabia, which means it's probably ending up with China and Iran and Russia and other places. So Donald Trump, though, says, I'm very proud of Saudi Arabia. I'm proud of the Crown Prince and his incredible human rights efforts. Incredible. You're applauding Saudi Arabia for what it's done with human rights? Here, play this clip.
I'm very proud of the job he's done. What he's done is incredible in terms of human rights and everything else. And he's the Crown Prince, the future king, and I just want to pay my greatest respect to your father, the king, who is an amazing man. I met him early on. He greeted me at the airport at an age that was pretty high up there, and it was about 117 degrees, and he was standing on the red carpet as I came out of the plane. And he's amazing. And when I met his brilliant son, it was at the Oval Office shortly thereafter, and you came in representing the country, and I called the father. I said, this guy is fantastic. And I don't know if that helped you or hurt you, but obviously it couldn't have hurt too much, because here you are, right?
Then Donald Trump says that he's been on the same side of every issue with the Crown Prince and with Saudi Arabia. Trump's always been with Saudi Arabia on every issue. On every issue? I mean, most of the 9/11 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. Wahhabism originates from Saudi Arabia. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, seriously, what are we doing here? Here, play this clip.
We have a lot of jobs. So I just want to thank you. We've been really good friends for a long period of time. We've always been on the same side of every issue. I think we've done a great job in wiping out the nuclear capacity of Iran. Nobody else could have done that.
Then Donald Trump, you see what this is really about. The Crown Prince gives Donald Trump a fake number of investment in the United States. The real number is what the Saudis are going to give to Donald Trump and Donald Trump's companies. But MBS is like, we will now do $1 trillion up from $600 billion. That's what we will invest in the United States. And then Donald Trump, like a snake oil salesman's like, do you mean to tell me? Did you hear what he just said? He gonna do a trillion. Wow, you're going to do $1 trillion. They're just making up fake numbers while Americans suffer, while Americans are starving, while Americans are having their health care ripped away. But here, play this clip.
You are doing that now. You're saying to me now that the $600 billion will be $1 trillion.
Definitely, because what we are signing it will facilitate that. And
I like that very much.
He works hard.
No, that's great. I appreciate that. That's great. We're doing numbers that nobody's ever done. And
a reporter then asks the question, like, okay, you're talking about $1 trillion, but like, where are you going to get this money from? Are you just making up numbers, MBS? Here, play this clip.
Crown Prince, Your Royal Highness, you're talking about $1 trillion of investment. Could the kingdom continue to do that with oil prices in the mid-60s?
Yeah, we are not creating fake opportunities to, please America, please President Trump. It's real opportunities. For example, when you ask about the AI and the chips, Saudi Arabia have a huge demand a huge need of computing power, and we're gonna spend in the short term around $50 billion by consuming those semiconductors for our needs in Saudi Arabia. And with the agreement that we're gonna have with North America, that will allow us to focus that consuming power in the short term by $50 billion from the South America, and long term with hundreds of billions of dollars in the long term. So there's a lot of real opportunities that fit to our need in Saudi Arabia and fit to our investment strategy.
Mr. President.
Then Trump thinks it's funny that he could have asked MBS to help build the ballroom. He's like, I could have had him build the ballroom, but there are some issues about foreign donations for the ballrooms, but he's like, everybody loves the ballroom. It's so popular. It's like the least popular. You destroyed the East Wing of the White House while you're also ripping away health care from tens of millions of Americans. Here, play this clip.
And it's going to be beautiful. It's a very popular thing what we're doing. And by the way, no government funds. It's all put up private money, all private money. And in the case, I think there's a restriction on foreigners. Otherwise, I could have asked you just for a check, okay?
We all know that autumn leaves are beautiful until they're clogging your gutters. Enjoy the season knowing you have to clean it. Absolute game changer. Installation comes with a your free gut e.com.
I grabbed that hand. I don't give a hell where that hand's been. I grabbed that hand.
Then Trump continues to say, this guy's a great ally of ours. Did you hear him? $1 trillion? What a great ally. He just said $1 trillion. Americans are suffering. We don't want to see the country where 9/11 hijackers came from in the Oval Office. We don't want to see this, Donald. And this is gross. You fawning over this guy is freaking gross. The guy who killed Khashoggi. Here, play this clip.
So we just push forward for all the opportunities that we have.
You have to understand, this is really a great ally. Just the fact that they're now doing, I came in here at 6, I did not know that. I was pushing for the $1 trillion, but he didn't tell me that. Now he told me. This is a great ally of ours. When you invest $1 trillion, that's national security for us too, because it creates jobs, it creates a lot of things. And I would say, Scott, right? When you hear one country is putting $1 trillion into the United States, that creates national security. And,
Then Donald Trump's like, but you all should just applaud us right now. I don't have to be here. He doesn't have to be here. We're dealing with the future king right here, and we're here answering your questions. Give us respect. Here, play this clip.
A huge new chapter on this relation that will add value to both of us.
When you think about it, I'm just sitting here. You're with the future king, a man who's respected by everybody, a man that doesn't have to be doing this, really. I don't have to be doing it either. And yet we're sitting here taking questions, we didn't say, oh, you can't talk about this. And there's never been transparency like this, even in his country, but there's never been, in our country, that's been acknowledged. But we didn't put restrictions, and I'm saying it's sort of wonderful to be taking questions from all over the world. Everybody's here. This is just a small group representative of tremendous numbers of media that are outside that are very jealous that these people were so selected.
Then Trump says, MBS told me that we inherited a mess. He said that I'm doing a great job because we inherited a mess from Biden. That's why the economy is the way it is right now. We inherited it. Here, play this clip.
And we inherited a mess. You actually told me you thought the country was in big trouble. I'm not going to use the exact word that you use. I refuse to say that you thought our country was dead a year and a half, 2 years ago. But our country was in trouble, and now we have the hottest country in the world. You said that also.
But Trump goes, don't worry. Everybody knows we're bringing down prices substantially. They're very low right now. No, they're not. They're absolutely not. Here, play this clip.
We've done a job. We're also bringing down prices very substantially, and we've already brought them down very, very substantially. Gasoline is way down. I think you'll be seeing $2 gasoline, but we're now at $2.50, $2.45. Some are lower than that. It was $4.50, $5, $6, $3.50, $3.75. Under Biden, all different numbers, but way high.
And Trump goes, when anybody goes into the Oval Office, what they say is, wow, wow. I mean, this grotesque golden bordello, yeah, wow. What the hell did you do to it? Here, play this clip.
In the world, like the gentleman on my right, everybody walks into the Oval Office and they say, wow. And now, by the way, the Oval Office is in the kind of condition that it should be in. Whether you look at the walk or the marble floors or anything down the road.
Then Donald Trump tells MBS that $21 trillion will be invested in the United States or committed to being invested. He just continues to make up these numbers. It'll be committed. No, none of this money is actually coming into the United States. Like, this is quite literally all made up. And how do we know that? Well, we have record deficits right now, and our debt is surging. So if we were bringing in record investments, shouldn't that be paying down our debt and reducing our overall deficits? Shouldn't that be? Because we're bringing in all this money. But didn't you say that we had a liquidity issue when it came to funding People Snap, that we didn't have the cash on hand? We play this clip.
We have the United States is right now the hottest country in the world. And between the tariffs and the election, November 5th election, we've done things that nobody can believe. $21 trillion will be the amount invested in the United States or committed to invest in 1 year. So I'm here 9 months. We're up to almost $18 trillion. Biden, as an example, the Biden administration, if you call it that, it's not, to me, it was the Biden lack of administration. They were less than $1 trillion for 4 years.
And then MBS says, oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that journalist. I'm so sorry. Anyone who loses their life for no real purpose. That makes me sad. Dude, do you realize the Saudis are literally just giving us the middle finger right now? Play this clip.
About the journalist, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or nothing illegal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc. in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Mr. President. And Donald Trump then says, we've never been this rich. We've never been in a position so good. Here, play this clip.
We've never been in a position like this. You can go back to the beginning. Our country has never been in a position like this. And it really is because of the fact that we use tariffs to bring all this money in.
What the hell that was? That was that was a press conference in the Oval Office with Donald Trump looking like he was attracted, like he wanted to date the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. How freaking bizarre. How odd. How offensive to America was that? Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.